Today is Sunday, August 24th, about 10:03 a.m. in the Midwest, and look at that. The temperature's a little bit over 70. How about that? Finally, the heat broke. Yep, it was, that's about 72 in the shade. It was about, I don't know, since around the middle of June, middle of August, a little bit past middle of August, it was in the 90s to 100s. Very high humidity, felt like we were getting microwaved. Hope you're all doing well and you made it through the hot summer. Of course, everybody had different situations in different parts of the world, in different parts of the country, which is what I usually address. So my topic today is I'm still hearing this. No, not the cicadas. I forgot what they call them. Cicadas? Cicadas, I guess is what it is. Anyway, that's not what I meant when I said I'm still hearing it. They did it on cue, didn't they? What I meant was, I'm still hearing about people who are talking about being depressed and being very blue, very gloomy. For those of you who don't know what blue means, it means kind of down in the dumps, depressed, not very happy. I don't know if anybody even uses that term anymore, that word blue. But when I grew up in the 60s, it was very prevalent. I mean, this one guy in particular, I watch his videos. He's on a farm up in New York State, and he's dealing with health issues. And he's around 54, 55 years old, I think he said. And, you know, he lost his brother in an accident a couple years ago, and I don't know when he lost his dad. He keeps talking back about how he hasn't been camping because he used to go with his brother, and he put his brother's ashes up in the camping spot. And he doesn't go fishing because it reminds him of his dad. But on top of that, all the stuff, especially since COVID, many people are coming out and talking about how they just don't feel right anymore. And after what happened throughout the world, or most of the world, with lockdowns, wearing a mask, being 6 feet apart, thinking you're going to die from this disease, being told you have to take an untested jab or you lose your job and you're ostracized. And everywhere you go, the people that you thought you knew, you find out they weren't who you thought they were. You find out that some of them are very mean-spirited, very resentful, very hateful in some instances, and that also throws you for a loop, because it's like you find out your spouse is cheating on you and you thought everything was great guns, that you were living a fantasy. What you thought was real about these people is not real at all. And your whole worldview seems to change. And when COVID hit, our whole worldview seemed to change. And I must admit, I didn't think in America they'd fall for it the way they did. Now, many of you may have fallen for it and believed a lot of the stuff that you were told, but I can point by point prove it all wrong. And it's come out numerous times over the years. I was pointing it out as it happened because I knew what was going on. I read the literature. I listened to true, honest, professional people. I looked at the data. I talked to people on the ground that were in the medical field. And then you go to England, there's something called SAGE. And from what I gather, it's like a military psychological group, you know, a bunch of psychiatrists and stuff. And they supposedly openly admitted that what they were doing to the UK public was a psychological operation to see how they would behave under certain circumstances. And even though they might have let up on the COVID thing, they're doing it in other ways. Financially, they're doing it culturally and socially, politically. It's really bad over there, from what I read and what I hear and see. So it's no wonder that people feel depressed. Some people will trace it back to the COVID experience. Some people will just say, It's something in their personal experience, but whatever it is, it's there. It's very prevalent, and people are openly talking about it. Now, it's not like depression and things like that haven't been around forever, because they have, but it seems to have increased since COVID. Many people point that out. And that's what makes it more interesting and valid, because people are saying that's where they trace it to. They trace it to that experience. And of course, people became lonely. Kids had problems learning how to speak right and develop right socially because they couldn't see the mouth of their mother and their teacher because they were wearing a mask. Totally unnatural. And this was said to happen. This was predicted. This is what would happen. This would be the outcome of all this masking up stuff, and it certainly was. And if you're not somebody that had to deal with that, thank you. Thank you for you. Good for you. But if you are somebody who has to suffer through that, my heart goes out to you, and I feel compassion for you. Send you a good thought. So there's many ways that people cope with this, and this guy was talking about it too. Yeah, you can't get away from it because it's in your thinking, it's in your thought, it's in your head, and so you have to deal with it. And he said, I don't want to do drugs because that just makes it worse. And I want to, basically he wants to he wants to be aware of himself. He doesn't want to be in la la land through mind manipulating drugs. So people will turn to the Bible or whatever spiritual belief they practice or accept, and others will turn to activities, social activities. Be around their friends, think good thoughts. I mean, I would recommend certainly what Norman Cousins did when he realized that it was his unhappy thoughts that allowed him to get sick. Then he said, well, then happy thoughts, good thoughts will make me get better, which it did. Matter of fact, it cured him of what he said was a terminal disease. So I would highly recommend that. Don't look over your shoulder at something that's bothering you. Fill your thought with happy, good thoughts. Be with people you like. Be around nature. If you got animals or kids, enjoy them. And whenever those thoughts come to you, just push them aside. People say, but they keep coming. Well, you keep pushing. I mean, who's in charge? Where's the person or the power or the thing that's pushing these bad thoughts to you? It's not God. It's not the creator of all things. He's all for good. He is good. That's what the word God means, good. So you fill your thought with good thoughts. You know that God's in charge, and you are his charge. You are his creation. And that these thoughts are no part of God's kingdom. These are not wished on you. I believe these are what you could call the demon thoughts that Jesus drove out of a man. I believe these are the thoughts that tempted Jesus to say, hey, why don't you throw yourself off of that cliff, dude? And Jesus said, don't tempt the Lord thy God. And these were thoughts he had to contend with and prove himself over in order to move ahead to his next chapter of his ministry. And this guy on this farm, he was just talking about all this stuff. Now, if you go through a bad experience, it's understandable how you could feel upset. But it's not going to last. It wasn't there before. It shouldn't be there later. It should eventually melt away. But definitely find people that with whom you can contact and have a good time with. Find people that make you happy, that are understanding and compassionate. If it's a psychiatrist or a doctor, somebody, so be it. Do things that make you happy, and know that you have the power to be happy, and your purpose is to be happy. Not only your desire, but your purpose. Happiness is natural. Happiness is as natural as sunlight. It's good for you. So claim it. Be adamant. Stake your claim. Now, there's more background to why I'm saying what I'm saying, but the end result is this. And many people have done just that. Many people you will hear in spiritual traditions and disciplines and different healing modalities, as they call them, they will accentuate the good. Remember, there used to be a song called Accentuate the Positive and Eliminate the Negative. You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. There was a lot of old songs in the 40s and 50s, and even the 60s and 70s that had a very positive message that, as a child growing up, I overlooked the absolute truth of those songs, what they were saying. But they were there. But I would certainly recommend that you surround yourself in good. And this guy and everything he was talking about was the days were getting shorter, and winter was coming, so the cold and snow was going to be there, and he wouldn't be outside as much. And that's been a long known situation where in the winter, when it's dark for longer periods of time, people become more depressed, so they recommend them using fluorescent lighting. That the fluorescent light, that frequency of light, is good for people. It stimulates something. And of course, you got people that live in the northwestern states of the United States in particular. It's cloudy and drizzly a lot, and they say a lot of people are very psychologically unhappy because of the weather. But we can't let the weather affect us. We can still think. Our thinking is our thinking. If we lend credence to that, then we say that the power for our happiness is in the environment only. That the environment, which is just an expression, has more power than your intelligent thought process. Well, that's absurd. That's not true. Your thought process is first. Your thought process is connected to the creator of all things. So don't be fooled. Read the Bible. Read books that make you happy. Do like Norman Cousins. Read books that make you happy. Listen to music. Throw your cares away and focus just on the good. Be confident in feeling happy and good. Watch movies that you like and laugh. I can't tell you how many times this guy that healed himself of numerous things, I guess all in the same period of time, like 3 months. I mean, he had all kinds of diseases and paralysis and everything. And he said, yeah, laughing is the best medicine. He says it's good for you. He said, I laughed a lot. And Norman Cousins said he had, he said 10 minutes of true belly laughing let him sleep for 2 hours without pain. It did something to his body. It was expressed on his body. So, laugh. What do they say? Live, laugh, and love. Live your life. Be engaged. Be intelligently minded. Be conscious of your life and your good. And laugh. Enjoy yourself. Let go and let God, as they say, come into your consciousness. And love. Be compassionate. Be caring. Think good thoughts toward yourself and others. And know that those thoughts have power. Those are real thoughts. Those are reality. That's more real than anything else. Anything that's not like that, that's not good, is not real. It's not a reality. It doesn't have a power behind it. God cannot cede his power and abrogate his authority to anybody else. Just like math does not give up its authority. Math is always math. It'll never change. And so will God. God will never change. It's just we need to understand it like you need to understand math to demonstrate it. So live, laugh, and love. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you all well. Namaste.